Welcome to another episode of Shabor, my review of the season 1 finale of the CW's Beauty and the Beast.
Shipper War. When ship happens, I'm there.
The season finale for this series, the season 1 finale for this series, I have to say it started out pretty good. I felt like, okay, this can go somewhere. It's going to be really interesting. And then something happened along the way and it just fell apart for me, and I honestly felt like this wasn't really a season finale. It felt more like a mid-season finale. It didn't feel like a cliffhanger. It didn't feel like, man, I can't wait for season 2 and see what happens next. Like, they didn't leave anything for me personally to really want to watch a season 2 of this series. I personally feel like, I know this series is titled Beauty and the Beast, and I know Vincent and Catherine are a big part of this series, but I feel like their relationship is bringing down the series for me. And it's not because I dislike them as characters or I dislike the idea of them as a couple. It's just particular things that they have them do that are very frustrating, and me as an audience member watching them, just, it irks me to watch them sometimes. Some particular things that they do is that they seem very careless. They do things without thinking about other people. They only think about themselves. It's always about them too. It's always about them. Vincent is not just any guy. Like, his actions do affect other people, and so when they do things that are obviously not good things, they can put other people in danger, and yet they seem like to almost like shrug it off. Like, they realize they're doing something bad, but they're like, well, as long as we're together, it's okay. Do they honestly care about other people's well-being? Like, they say they do, but then they do these actions that are completely ridiculous and end up hurting other people. Case in point, Evan. In the beginning, it wasn't like that. In the beginning, they did things and they did them because they were protecting each other, or they were working together for the better good. But now they're at the point where they're like doing things just for each other, and it's not really doing things to protect other people or to do something that is for the better good of the just overall thing. It's just all about, Catherine wants to help Vincent because she wants to be with Vincent. She wants a life with Vincent, so she'll do all these things for him, and will do all these crazy things because of her. It's not so much, I'm doing these things because I'm worried about the greater good. It's not really like that anymore, and they kind of lost that, and it's frustrating to watch as an audience member, see that goodness of these two characters like kind of go away because of their selfishness for each other. Like, they're so blinded to each other, and it's just so frustrating to watch. The other thing that I'm really not liking about Vincent and Catherine is they talk too much. Always talk about their relationship. And what I liked about in the beginning of the series, like, they had feelings for each other, but they never spoke about it, but you just knew by looking at them and the things they would do that they really cared for each other. They really wanted each other. You don't have to have a scene where Catherine and Vincent are talking about how they want to be together and how they'll do anything for each other. I know all of this. I watched the series since the first episode. I've seen this progression. I've seen this development between their relationship. I don't need to be told this in every episode, in every scene. In this finale, they're actually having a conversation about their relationship when they should be running away from the castle building place they were at. And yet, no, they're sitting there and they're talking about their relationship. And I'm like, are you freaking serious? You guys should be worrying about something else other than about your future or whatever. I mean, there's this beast running around. He's gonna freaking kill you, and you're there having a conversation about your relationship and how, whether or not you want Vincent to be a beast or not, or human, and fake IDs. I could care less about that this one. I want to see some action. I don't want to see them discuss their relationship during these particular awkward moments when they're not supposed to be talking about those things. They're supposed to be focusing on other things. And lately, that's what the Vincent and Catherine relationship has been, and it's so frustrating to watch as an audience member. One and final thing that really frustrated me about the season finale is, again, with the whole talking too much. The scene at the very end where they took Vincent away, and I honestly felt absolutely nothing. Like, I didn't feel sad for him or anything, and I don't know where I lost that emotion for Vincent, which I had at a point, but I lost it somewhere. Something happened, but the emotional element of this series is being lost. It's being lost and needs to come back for season 2 is all I'm saying. Okay, so he's getting, taken away in the net thing, and Catherine's like looking like she's like all like, what the hell's going on here? There's one guy with a rifle. He's about to snipe Catherine, and then the other guy tells him to not do it as he looks down at her. And then as he looks down at her, he goes, she's my daughter. And then boom, it ends there. Okay. Why did he have to verbalize the fact that Catherine was his daughter? Why couldn't he just be like, don't shoot her? And I personally would have preferred if they didn't tell me that now. I prefer if they left it with us fans speculating, was that her father? Is that why he didn't want to shoot her? What was the whole purpose? Why didn't he want to shoot her? Does he want to use her for something in the future? What's going on? Like, have us speculate. Have us have something to discuss during the summer. Like, I feel like there's really nothing to speculate on. Like, why do they want Vincent? Probably because they want him to test on him or something or another. Like, really, I feel like there's not much to really speculate on. Nothing to really discuss after this finale. Like, the cliffhanger wasn't much of a cliffhanger because it feels like the one thing that I felt like a lot of people couldn't really, like, you know, overanalyze and talk about was completely spoiled by having the guy say, that's my daughter. And I feel like there's a lot of things that are missing emotionally in this series. They lost it. They lost it. And I'm being honest, they lost it. And I think they need to do a better job in bringing that emotion back into the series, especially in season 2. I think there's a lot of things they need to focus more on, like little details, like the whole anniversary episode where Catherine's mom's anniversary just magically happens in the middle of winter, even though in the pilot episode it happened in the fall. You know, like, those type of details are important, and fans notice that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of particular things that fans notice. It seems like the writers either don't know, or they just don't care, or they just do it just to progress the story. I don't understand it. But I'm just saying there's particular things, writing-wise, that's really bringing the show down lately that I want for the writers to do a better job with it. I want it to be better for season 2 because I want this series to be a success. I want people to watch this series and not be frustrated with these things that are easy fixes, in my opinion. And they need to stop killing off good characters like Evan, because I feel like that was the biggest mistake. I don't know if it was a contract thing, they couldn't afford him, the actor wanted to leave, whatever. But if they're going to continue killing off these characters that made the series at first, it's just going to lose people, because it's like, don't ruin the thing that helped the series become what it was. And I feel like Evan was one of those elements. I just want to be watching an episode and I feel like, oh my god, why am I feeling so frustrated right now? I want to feel like happy and yay, and not finish the episode like rolling my eyes because of something I didn't like. I don't want to feel that. Maybe I'm just alone in this. I don't know, but I can't control how I feel, and I'm just expressing it. So that is all for this episode of Ship War. Goodbye, and until next time. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Now let me be completely honest. I knew nothing about this story before going into the movie. I never read the book. It was never a requirement for me in high school to read it. I really honestly knew nothing of this story. So I went into this film completely blind to what the story was going to be, how the film was going to finish. All of that, I had no idea. And I have to say, overall, after watching the movie, I was slightly disappointed with it. But the more I thought about it, the more I ended up